You are now listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Podcast.
Welcome to Ride With Me, episode 65. Today is August 21st, 2021, and today's guest is Carrie. Carrie, hola.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm super sleepy right now. It's kind of crazy how tired I look right now.
I know, you got me up early on a Saturday. Only for you, Andy. Only for you.
You know what? I feel honored when I pop into your guys' lives and everybody's like, Andy. I was like, I'm famous.
I know.
I'm famous.
You're part of the crew, you know?
Yeah. So, no, I'm thinking that I'm still just tired from my drive from Texas. Just, it was bad. It wasn't bad. No, I'm saying I lied. It was the last 3 hours on my way home were brutal. Like, I would get off at a rest stop.
Stop and go.
I would get off at a rest stop and I would feel like the floor moving. Like if there was some kind of earthquake. Yeah. Like I needed to get home. So, because we left El Paso Monday at 6:30 in the afternoon, El Paso time, obviously, Texas time. And we got to California at 5 a.m, like on the dot. And so,
wow. Yeah,
but it was worth it. I got to see my grandmother. You know, she was very happy. She called me a couple of days after to thank me for everything I did around the house because I fixed her toilets. One toilet wouldn't flush. I fixed it. The other toilet was leaking from underneath. Fixed it. Her sink was clogged. Kitchen sink was clogged. Fixed it. You know,
what a nice grandson.
She can't walk around anymore, so she can't. There's a lot of stuff she can't do anymore, and you know, the last time we went, she pretty much kind of bit our heads off for trying to help her out around the house, and this time, well, you have no choice. You're stuck in your bed, so yeah. Looked around the house Saturday, being Sunday. I went to Walmart and I bought the parts that the toilets needed. Got her a plunger for the kitchen, and then and told her this is only for the kitchen. This is not for you to go put in the toilets. This is for the kitchen only. Because her, what do you call that thing? The little mortar that drains or chops up
the garbage
disposal was broken. So I'm not going to go buy her a garbage disposal. So I'm like, at least let the water drain, right? So I made sure that I cleaned that out. And it was, it's an old house. I couldn't even turn off the water. I had to go outside into the main street and, you know, shut off the main master water. But yeah, no, she really loved it. She loved the boys. She loved the fact that the last time she saw the boys was like 8 years ago, and they're all grown and they were helping around the house. Yeah, they were cleaning. Wow. And they were cleaning. They vacuumed the living room. They helped too. They helped because with, you know, she's old school, so she was kind of like, you know, she was like tripping out that I was making breakfast, and it's like, I don't have a problem making breakfast. She was tripping out that my son was peeling potatoes. I'm like, it's okay. You know, it's okay. These kids need to learn how to cook for themselves. They need to learn how to clean up for themselves. They don't, pretty much, like my wife said, I don't want them depending on a woman or anyone when they're older. And so, they do stuff around the house so they can earn their electronics. So that's why they do it. There's a reason. There's a reason.
Well, yeah. I mean, you get like allowance, right? But my allowance back in the day was like $2. Like, you know, now it's probably like $200.
No, if my son, like the other day, I had a paycheck, and I'm like, okay, I paid the bills. That's $50. Okay, and I told the wife, I Venmo the wife or Zelle the wife money, and I said, 10 for Julian, 40 for Nick, because Nick did more chores around. Like, he'll go and actually pull weeds, and you know. So yeah, you're right. I mean, I gave him $40. Back in the day, it was $2.
Yeah, and I thought it was awesome for $2.
Right. So no, they helped around. And she called me and she said, "Thank you for all that." Her fans. She couldn't reach the little chain that was all up there. Oh. So I made the chain longer, and she was real grateful. She is 83.
Okay.
She's 83. And I think the best part of the trip was when I would put on my Dallas Cowboy jersey and I try to go hug her. And she's like, no, shoo, get away from me. Get away from me, Satan. She called me Satan. Get away from me, Satan. And she was so embarrassed when we posted that on Facebook, and she was like, "No, why?" She got upset for a little second. I'm telling you, she's old school. She's old school. She got upset, and why did you guys do that? And I'm like, Grandma, it's funny. It was funny. And she was, but I called you Satan. That's what she was.
Did you guys go to like Disneyland out there or something?
No,
like,
Disneyland was out here. So
okay.
This is why I feel I'm so damn tired. So it was Friday. We, pretty much clocked out from work, came home, rested for a little bit, and then we took off. We got to El Paso Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We left Monday. We came back. We got here Tuesday morning. Tuesday was my mother-in-law's birthday, so we spent the day at her house. I was pretty much almost dead on the sofa, but I went, right? But I was there, right?
Yep.
Wednesday, we went to Disneyland.
Oh, wow.
And we were there all day. Got to ride the Rise of the Resistance. Amazing ride. Well worth the wait. And then the first thing we did was the Millennium Falcon. We're huge Star Wars fans. I'm actually thinking of putting my backdrop over here so people can see it better. But yeah, it was amazing. Came home, like, I think I'm feeling it. I am feeling it. I was supposed to go on a bike ride today, and I couldn't get out. Lately, I haven't even heard my alarm go off. I can't even hear my alarm.
Yeah.
So
you need sleep.
Yeah.
know?
That's what right now is like. I feel so bad because we said 7 a.m, and I'm still plugging stuff in, and I'm not even ready to go. But
No,
yeah,
okay.
It was amazing. I mean, I got to see my grandma. She pretty much told me, "Hey, don't wait another 8 years to come back." I said, "No, I won't. I will come back. I will try to make it a yearly thing, if possible, maybe twice a year." But I ain't driving. Nope. I ain't driving. That drive was brutal.
Like you were saying, it's like what, 10, 12 hours? How many hours? 20?
It is a 11.5 hour drive if you don't stop.
Okay.
So obviously the rest stops. Like at one point we stopped at In-N-Out. Oh yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, we had we had In-N-Out. I wanted In-N-Out in our minds freshly there, because people compare Whataburger and In-N-Out, and Whataburger's better, In-N-Out's better. Okay, my final review: no, hells no. Whataburger is not better than In-N-Out. No.
I've never had it. I've been wanting to try
Whataburger tastes like burgers. I'm not bashing them. I'm not. I don't want to get sued. I just don't understand why they compare the two. Whataburger tastes like a burger that I can make at home.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. There's a restaurant in my home city in Oxnard that's called A Burger. Their burgers taste the same. So, and then I learned that because that place used to be a Whataburger a long time ago. So at one point, California had a Whataburger, or Ventura County had a Whataburger. That was a long time ago. But I don't understand why they compare the two. There's no way that Whataburger.
I might go to In-N-Out later today. Now
right? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In-N-Out. We had it.
Saturday thing.
Right, we had it before we even got out of California. The last thing we did in California was gas, In-N-Out. Let's go. Let's go. But now that you're my guest, I met you through a Brian live on TikTok.
Yeah. Good old Brian.
Good old Brian, Mr. Won't release his real name.
Bachelor.
Right. Oh, right. The TikTok's eligible bachelor. It's a trip with you because, as he's talking on his live, people are interacting on the messages, and then you mentioned California. I mentioned California. You said Burbank, and I happened to ask, "Hey, do you happen to listen to Valentine in the Morning?" And your response was, "Wait, you're the Andy? You're the flat tire Andy?" That's when I knew I was famous. That's it. I'm famous.
I know, that's so funny. I was like, this is a really small world here.
It is. It is. How is it that we're both on TikTok on a live from somebody in North Carolina, and we're like, what, 30 minutes from each other?
I know.
You're down the street, technically.
I know. It's so cool. That's what I love about TikTok.
I took a screenshot and I sent it to the group chat that we have with Valentine in the Morning and everybody. And they're like, what am I looking at? I'm like, look. This lady knows Flat Tire Andy.
I know, and everyone else in the chat was like, "What? Like, what's
It's
going
yeah, they didn't get it because they don't know. They're not from California. They don't know. And then I remember after that live, I went, babe, this lady knew Flat Terry, man. they're my wife and the kids are over it. Like, okay, Dad, okay, like I'll still get excited. They'll call me, they'll mention me on the radio, and I'll still get a little excited. And they're like, okay, Dad, we heard it. Okay, yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
My brother, who's been staying with us for like 2 months now, going on 3, he heard the other day Valentine speaking about me on the radio, and he was like, holy shit, he wasn't lying. Like, dude. Of course, dude. Like, real, like, even another that my brother Chris has been staying with us. My brother Ricky has been coming over more often, and he didn't know about the history of the podcast. He didn't know why I got into it. He didn't know about the radio show. He doesn't have Facebook, so he didn't know any of that. So we're listening to the old podcast of when I appeared on their podcast, and he was like tripping out. I'm playing old clips when they called me and left me a happy birthday message. They just like, he was like, why aren't you working for the radio show by now? I'm like, yeah. No, I'm not working for the radio show. I like what I do. Is that
something you want to do though? Like,
I applied. I did apply, but they haven't called me. They haven't called me, but we just recently found out that one of the guys is leaving the show. Explains why they are recruiting someone new. Kevin is leaving the show, which wasn't a shocker, but it did leave a couple people upset. It's like, that's Kevin. You can't replace Kevin. So I'm glad they didn't call me, because I would have some big shoes to fill, and I don't want to. I would do like Jimmy's spot, where I'll go sit in the corner and just push buttons. That's what I would do,
Right.
Not
you'd be good at it.
Not to replace Kevin. I just there's just some big shoes to fill there. But anyways, yes, we're on the live. We're chit chatting with Brian, Mr. Won't give his real name, and you're on there. We're chatting, and then ever since then, it's like we have our own little community. Like, we have our regulars always on there, where now it's like, hey, I want to be on your you guys heard Brian on the podcast, and I was like, hey, I want to be on your podcast. Hey, I want to be on your podcast.
Everyone's getting in line, and it's interesting because I have a couple communities that I've now combined into these lives, and it's so much fun. Everyone's becoming friends with each other, and I love it.
And to think, man, I started off with TikTok being like, oh, it's a child's app and ridiculous, and all the people doing the same. Like, people on TikTok have no, I always said it, people on TikTok have no talent. They're just copying someone else's video and doing it as their own. But not a lot of people do that. Like you, for example, or Brian. Brian does his own thing. I do my own thing. And we're not out there mimicking other people's videos.
Yeah, like, I'll do wet videos because I think they're funny and I just want to react to them or something like that. But I do have my own too, that I'll put together and try and be creative, at least to some extent. But, I mean, I love it because there's just so many people who are just, I love the creators. I love watching what they're doing and how funny they are. And it makes me laugh. And yeah, you're right. Like, I didn't join TikTok until June this year. I didn't have it during COVID because I thought it was all teenagers.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to watch them all dancing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I went on it and I'm like, there are so many older people on here now. We're taking it over.
Yeah. I like I said, at first it was like, when I first started using TikTok, no joke, I would stream my phone to the TV, and we would watch them as a family. Because that's how much fun we would have watching these. And obviously, within a second or two, you can already tell where the video is going to go. So my kids are like, hey, because I just switch video. And then my wife did that same thing one day. She's like, hey, why let it play? I already know what's going to happen in this video, but okay. And then obviously a girl pops in half naked. She's like, change it. What I tell you. Yeah. You can already hear by the music they're using where the video is going to go. And so, I mean, yeah, it used to be like my kid yesterday, Dad, okay, I did my chores. So he'll ask the wife, okay, my chores are done. The dishes are clean. Because I'm telling you, they got to earn their electronics. Everything's done. Okay, go ahead, go play. So he went to go play Fortnite. Within 2 minutes, Carrie, I get a notification on my phone from TikTok. Direct message. My son's already sending me videos. Where at one point we called him into the living room and we told him, enough.
We're done.
Choose your poison. Which game are you going to play? Are you going to play on your phone and watch TikTok all day? Or are you going to go on your Switch and play Fortnite? So they stopped. But yeah, I'm telling you, he went and sat down in his chair, set up his system, and then within 2 minutes, notification. Like, this kid's already on TikTok.
It's addicting. It's so addicting. And the last couple months, I mean, I didn't do any lives. I had to get friends, right, to be able to go live. You have to have 1,000 friends to be able to do these live chat rooms, which is kind of the thing you want to do. And you want to grow. And then there's like the next level is like maybe 10,000 friends so you can be in the creator fund or something like that. So I'm like, okay, I hit 1,000 and I was like, oh, I'm never going to go live. And now I go live like 3 times a week.
Honestly, I thought it was like, again, I just used it to promote my podcast. That was it. Now I'm looking at my list right now and the last 3, 4 on this paper, on just on this piece of paper, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're the 5th guest on this piece of paper, and 4 of you are from TikTok.
Right.
Like I said a couple episodes.
We're the best.
Like I said a couple episodes ago, I ran out of friends. My wife this morning. So who are you recording a podcast with? And I'm like, another TikTok friend. And they're like, oh, okay. And then, is that the one from England? I'm like, no, babe. This is the one from Burbank. This is the one that you. Oh, Flat Tire Andy. And she goes, oh, okay. Then so just go do your thing. Like, she don't even.
Yeah, she's like,
yeah.
Keep them straight.
Yeah,
That's funny.
Go do your thing. But yeah, no, it wasn't meant. And then one day, like I said, it was when I first went live. It was with Brian, and he was talking about something.
Really?
Yeah, he was talking about something, and I'm like, hey, can I live? Can I do live with you real quick? And he said, yeah, that's fine. And then that conversation went for an hour.
Yeah,
and
he's a really good talker. Like I went live first with him too as a dual.
Yeah,
and he's just like, the reason I even got into his live and started hanging out was because he's just a good talker and he likes to talk about really interesting things and he really interacts with you in the chat room. And so I learned from him, like, okay, yeah, that makes me feel welcome to stay here and want to hang out and get to know people. And yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah,
I don't want his head to get too big though.
Oh, it's too late. It's too late. He went on a podcast. That's it. He's famous. He says. No, he's a really good. He likes to talk. He has. What caught my attention is that when he talked about his stepmom, like we connected in that. Yeah. We connected with that. And then one time I went live with him again because my son wants to be a pilot. So I had my son kind of like go on there and ask him a couple questions, but nothing crazy. But yeah, he's a cool dude. I mean, he's right. We should all eventually meet up one day because this is,
Oh my gosh, yeah, we will.
Yeah,
for sure. It's going to be hilarious. I'm sure he wants to continue coming on the podcast because he has so many stories, and I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. Like I said, I ran out of real friends, so now I got you guys. Well, and he's got all those pilot stories. They always have some, right, of their trips and then the people on the plane and like crazy things that happen. I mean, I remember one live, I was like, what was the biggest disaster you had? And like he had a major malfunction on a plane, just all that kind of stuff is really interesting.
It was pretty cool when he said that he knows that one pilot that landed on the river. Is it Hudson River?
Yeah, I forget that guy's name now.
But
there was a movie, right?
Yeah, Tom Hanks was in that movie. But he
that's it.
But he actually physically knows the guy. So that's pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, TikTok was only mainly to promote my podcast. Now I like to go live while riding my bike and just interact with whoever's on there talking. And then when he's on his lives and I'm riding my bike, I really am riding my bike and I can just... I'm listening.
I've seen you. I've been in your live when you're on your bike.
And I'll comment. It's not that hard. I mean, I have my phone on a mount, and I can just use my thumb. And then most of the time, the phone already suggests the word, so it's real easy. And I like. I mean, at first I was like, kind of like you said, kind of like, I don't know, I'm kind of embarrassed, kind of embarrassing kind of thing. Like, still, you still have that mentality. This is a kids app. And then I just, let's see where it goes. Let's see where it goes. And yeah, I've met interesting people. Obviously, you know, a few of them already have been on my podcast, you know, like, again, Ibby, Brian, Shelby. I had Gary. Gary is a sweet, nice man. Him and his wife do TikToks together. They're hilarious. Again, he does.
You need one of the Kellys,
right? Actually, Kelly from Arizona said that she was down to do it. She was down to do it. And I'm like, well, just talk about nerd stuff. Don't even trip.
Yeah.
Don't even trip.
Totally nerdy.
I actually thought of her when we were driving through Arizona. She lives in Arizona, so I was on the freeway driving, doing my thing, and I'm like, out of nowhere, Kelly popped up. I'm like, she lives in the state somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, I downloaded TikTok because I work in the tech field. I head up like a product department where we make digital products, right? Like websites, apps, all that kind of stuff. And so I had been hearing about TikTok and I'm like, I have to check this out because I want to look at the features, right? Like, how are they doing things? How are they doing the live chat? How are they doing, you know, what is the gamification like in the app? Like, so that's why I downloaded it. And I was like, a week later, I told my coworker, I was like, I can't put this app down. I haven't slept in like a week.
It is bad. It is bad. You'll honestly, this is the longest I've gone without TikTok. The moment I left for Texas and up until yesterday, I finally popped it open and started looking at some videos.
Well, you were in my live. Was it last? No, it wasn't last.
Well, you guys, I kept on getting notifications, and I say, hey guys, I'm in Texas, and then whenever I had a chance, I would pop in for a couple seconds, but nothing crazy. I just I was you know, Brian too. I'm sorry, but I'm in Texas right now, buddy. Or I got one deal, and I was in Disneyland, so.
Well, you're wanted. That's all. You're wanted.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I think I'm being used. I'm being used for my podcast. That's what it is.
No, we love you.
No, it is fun.
Podcast is just funny. It's gravy. You know.
No, it's a cool environment with you guys. The regulars that pop on Brian's live, my live, your live. There's just the Kellys, Brian, you. I mean, and then other random people that pop in. It is fun. I like it takes me back to 2003 when you would, you know, get your internet going and you would find a way to find these Yahoo chats rooms and stuff like that. This is really what it is. You know, people are interacting on a live.
Yeah, it is.
It's a chat room. That. So I like it because, like I said,
I mean, you have your profile page.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have like your profile page with your videos and stuff, right? And it's your personality coming through in these videos. And then, it's really about going live and having these parties with your friends online and just shooting back and forth jokes, talking about each other, you know, and it's super fun. And it's interesting because now we all are looking forward every night someone's going live.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, okay, it's 8:00. Who's live now? Let's go check it out. You know?
Yeah. I think the longest I've done is I think Brian's live for like an hour and a half maybe, because then I had to go to bed. He goes late. He goes
long.
Yeah, he goes midnight his time. Whoa, that's boy needs to get a hobby. He needs to get a dog, something. Oh, he does have a dog. He's gonna kill me.
Yeah, you know. I can only do 3 hours and then I tap out on my lives. And then I'm like, guys, I can't. Like, you know, the other night I was on for almost 3 hours and then I was supposed to go on with my other friend. And I was like, I don't know if I can make it, you know, because you just are talking constantly and then you kind of like get drained from it. But it's so fun, you know?
Yeah. I thought it was a children's app, you know? A children's app that was being controlled by China, and Donald Trump wanted to ban this app.
And that's also why I didn't download it. I was like, okay, I'm like, my information's going to be in China. They're going to come steal all my stuff. Like, you know, that was the thing. But
I like that one video from the tips from the ER, and he said they're tracking you through your phone, motherfuckers. So, no matter what app you download, you're already being tracked.
Yeah, no, that's when I was like, that's kind of dumb. Yeah, they're already tracking me probably in a million different ways. So what does it matter? And, you know, And it's been such a trip. I can't imagine my life without TikTok now. Like, I honestly can't. Weird. And I don't want it to go away. I hope the app stays around and keeps growing, you know? Like, I think it's really a cool concept.
Well, the way that people keep using it, I don't think it's going to go away for a while.
Unless they just bomb it and like keep killing like the features or something,
right?
You know, you never know.
Until they like look at, for example, Facebook used to be it, right? And then they started plugging in all these ads, and they started plugging in all this random crap that it's not even, it's like not the same thing from when I uploaded that app, 11 years ago. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, I think the next step after this is like holographic.
Right. Right.
In your room.
That's
Everyone
it.
just holographs it.
Exactly. It'll be like the freaking Star Wars episode rides that we went on Wednesday. Same thing. They look so real. They just pop out.
I'll just beam into like Brian's living room.
Right. Hey, just give him a warning. Make sure he's decent. Oh, you remember that movie? I don't know if you watched that movie, Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Where he gets that phone call from a wrong number. she's butt naked. She's like, oh, wrong number. Oops, wrong Brian.
That's funny.
Okay. We're fucking around too much. But your TikTok name is Ryder. What was it?
It's Ryder 931.
So you are a 931, right? 931. You are an actual writer.
Yes, I am. But I primarily write film and TV scripts. But I am working on a book.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've been writing scripts since probably 2001. And so it's been a really long road. I mean, I knew that starting to write scripts was going to be really like a journey. You don't just like wake up and you sell a script. It's just not like that. And so I have a career I've built in the entertainment industry too, to kind of go coincide with it and like learn about the industry outside of writing, but then it could apply to it as well, like the business side. So I did that, and I've been writing scripts, and I kind of write everything. So I just have a lot of fun with it. I visualize a lot of things, and I love to see it kind of come to life with the characters and everything on a page. To me, it's really amazing that happens, and writers can do that, and we can get movies made, and just the whole thing amazes me.
Have I maybe watched something you wrote?
No, not yet. So here's the story, is that I wrote a sci-fi show originally. It was a TV series, and it got purchased and shelved, did not get made. And so that was like very disheartening, but at the same time, very like I knew I had something. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of writers will actually write and their stuff sits on a shelf. They get options, but never gets made. That's 90% of it. There's a lot of writers, that's how they make their living, is these option agreements.
Okay.
And they may never sell an actual script, or they may never, or not saying a full sale, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Or the film will never get made officially. But they make money off of the potential deals, the option fees that you get. And so, but I've been writing a lot, and I'm seeing it start to come to fruition. I've got projects in the oven that are being done. And,
okay.
You know what I mean? And I have an agent. It took me a while to get an agent, and that happened. And so it's been years and years and years of work. And you know what? I really love doing it. And so I don't mind if it takes me 40 years, 50 years, to make what I want to make. So, yeah, that's really the story. So I never really called myself a writer until the last couple years. I'm like, no, I really need to say I'm a writer, not just it's a second kind of random hobby. Do you know what I mean? Because you have to embody it and be like, no, I really am. I really have an agent. I really am selling, these things. So it's been a shift for me to kind of really go, no, this is what I want to do.
And is that something that writing, was that something you picked up as a kid? Like you just loved doing it, or?
Yeah, it was easy for me. I realized they always say like whatever's easy for you, you might want to pay attention to. And I always got like really good grades. Writing essays was just really fast and simple for me. So when I got into college, I would write for newspapers, I would write for magazines. And then I was like, but I really love movies. I really want to like see something on the screen like that. Could I teach myself? Could I learn how to do that? And so I read like all sorts of scripts and learned how to do it myself. And then I just started writing a TV series after that. And I started meeting people in the industry randomly. Like I was at a coffee shop, of course, in LA, and then you meet like a producer. And then, like I just have all these crazy stories of like, I had this guy read my first script who was James Cameron's ghostwriter.
No shit.
Yeah. And I said, and he read my script and he's like, this is actually pretty good. Like, here's some tips and this is what you do and you don't do in dialogue. And this, so I've learned over the years, meeting these people how to do it. And every like writer that's successful out there, they pound the pavement. They write every day, 8 hours a day to try and get their stuff out there. It's not easy in the industry. If you hear somebody that just like randomly woke up and sold a script, it's like that is just a 1 in a million, 10 million.
That's crazy.
So,
that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you know it? Like, what are your favorite films that you like?
Right now, it's obviously the Marvel universe right now at the moment. But I mean, there is some funny coincidence. My wife was just making fun of me this morning for liking How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Because we were talking about the witch in WandaVision, who happens to be the therapist or the friend that pretends to be the therapist in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. So she's like, how can you like these romantic movies but not act romantic yourself? Like, what the hell?
That's one of my major projects that hit big was internally. It hasn't come out yet, but is a rom-com, romantic comedy. I mean, I do gravitate towards comedies more than anything else. So, that I'm really excited for that project. It's very me. You know what I mean? Like my personality. It's really exciting to kind of see that come to life. And then I wrote a TV pilot that's about, I have 4 parents and it takes off about like my 4 parents living with me later in life. And it's kind of like a, funny story about, old age and your parents having to move in with you. It's kind of my fear. The life of the show. So basically, it's pretty funny. And my agent read it and he's like, this is pretty good. I'm like, okay, good. Maybe we'll sell it, to like Netflix or something. It's kind of like Grace and Frankie, or like, I don't know if you've seen that, or, similar shows like that. So.
Honestly, I don't really watch a lot of TV. I really don't. Yesterday was the first time. Yeah, I really don't. I mean, we do obviously watch the Marvel movies, but to sit here and come home from work and just sit there and watch like a TV show or like your routine. Like I was at my grandmother's house and she was watching novelas and I was like hooked on the novela. And she's like, don't do it. My wife's like, don't do it, Andy. Don't, babe. But see, it's getting good. See, this one person somebody killed their father-in-law and they're blaming one of the son-in-laws because it was his gun. It was his gun. But he said somebody stole it. So everybody believes he didn't do it. So on and on and on and on and on. And my wife's like, no, you are not going to get stuck on these novelas again. Like, no. But it wasn't, obviously.
What I should write is a novella.
Right? And my grandma's just laughing because I told my boys, it was the last day we were there. It was a Monday. And told the boys, go hang out with grandma, but she's watching TV. Just watch it with her. That's fine. And I walk in and my grandma's laughing. I'm like, why? Because every time somebody's crying, my son, the little one, has to be making fun of it. Oh, there she goes, crying again. She's crying again. Or he counts how many times they said Mexico because they don't understand Spanish. So he's like, they said Mexico. 1,
Oh my
They
gosh.
said Mexico again, 2, 3. So my grandma's just cracking up that's what they're picking up on. Like how many times the individual's crying. Oh, she's crying again. Or how many times they say Mexico. Mijo, you know this is a Spanish soap opera, right? So novela. So they're going to say it multiple times. And after half an hour, they're like, okay, can we go now? I'm like, yes, you guys can go now. And then I got stuck watching them.
You get sucked into them. I mean, I was telling Brian the other day in his live, I'm like, I have a lot of writer friends, and on their, they'll sell like a big film, let's say, but then what, right? Well, they make their extra money on Hallmark movies. Really, a lot of them do, and soap operas and stuff. So like, it is a thing for sure because they churn that stuff out, and there's always a need for another Hallmark movie, right? Like, I think they do like 500 of those a year, something crazy like that. So, yeah. I used to go at lunch, like a bunch of us would go hang out at someone's house and watch Days of Our Lives.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, we were all in the Days of Our Lives. I mean, people listening right now.
Yeah, no, I remember staying home from school, and that's all you saw on TV. Days of Our Lives, All Our Children. What's it called? The brain fart. I Love Lucy. Freaking The Price is Right. What is it called? The other one, Family Feud. Those are all the shows that are always on TV, and they were doing that. That's what my grandma was watching. She was watching Family Feud. Again, we're not come home from work and watch TV. Like yesterday, I did watch the Hard Knocks, the Dallas Cowboys episode. We watched a comedy special for Kevin Hart, and then we watched the Dallas Cowboy game. That was the most TV that I've watched in one day. That was, 5 hours in one day was a lot of TV.
Yeah.
I
have to watch a lot of it. I watch a lot of things because for example, I'm writing this thriller with a co-writer of mine, and we're watching everything that's like that, right? Because when we get into a pitch room, we're having to reflect on those characters and be like, oh, it's like so-and-so in Dexter and mixed with blah, blah, blah in Mindhunters. You know what I mean? And then they're like, oh, okay, and they know what we're doing. And like, we can't not do that. And so, hey, the good thing is I can expense a lot of my movie costs and my streaming services.
Right.
And, my movie tickets or whatever, but yeah. And so I probably watch a couple hours of something a day, but a lot of times at night. But it's funny because a lot of people on TikTok, like that I've met, they're not into TV or really, you know what I mean? And so I'm trying to relate to them about a show or something. They're like, I haven't watched TV in I don't know how long because they're on TikTok.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, my brother was like, well, he's staying with us, and he's like, hey, is it okay if I pay the internet bill? Because you guys never watch TV. We don't have cable. It's wow. I don't know if I said it already on podcast, but years back, 7 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, we've been here 4, so maybe 6 years ago, the kids were watching this Nickelodeon show, and it looked so stupid. And I was like, what are you guys watching? And they're like, they gave me the name of the show, and I'm watching it for a couple more minutes, and it is just the most stupidest show I've ever seen, and the kids are laughing.
Yeah.
Hello, Spectrum? Yeah, what's going on? Can you guys cut the cable, please? What do you mean, sir? I need you to disconnect the service. The cable needs to be disconnected. Actually, up the internet, but disconnect the cable. Well, sir, we have these plans. Blah, blah. It's not about the plans. It's not about the bill. I'm actually asking you to up the internet. I need you to cut the cable. Oh, okay. They cut the cable. My kids are like, what the hell, Dad? That's when I learned how to kind of play with a Fire Stick. And I made them watch what I wanted them to watch. Because that show was the stupidest thing ever. TV.
Yeah, there's a lot of stupid stuff on. There is.
Like, just the acting, the TV, they're not the same. Like, when we were kids. Like, these people are forcing themselves to be funny. Back in the day, all that was funny. We're talking about Nickelodeon shows.
Right.
All that was funny.
I remember that show.
Clarissa Explains It All was funny. Right. These shows
incorporated.
Yeah, these
That's my favorite show.
these shows, these kids are nothing against the kids, but they're just trying too hard to be funny, and it's not the same. Like my son got hooked on watching Jesse on Disney Plus, and I'm like, okay, I can kind of tolerate this. That's fine. I was still a teenager when this show came out, but it's bad acting. You can catch it like now. It's like, and then with nowadays with me that like the kids don't like to watch old TV movies or whatever, or old TV shows or movies, because I'm like the special effects were garbage back then. Like just comments like that.
Oh, and it's really crazy to watch that old stuff.
And we were at like I said, Disneyland, and we got on the Roger Rabbit, the ride, and my kids were like, they were confused, but they enjoyed the ride. I've never had them sit down and watch Roger Rabbit. So we watched it on Thursday when they got home from school. We watched it, and everything in the ride started making sense. They're like, oh, that's all I kept on hearing. Oh, okay, because they were catching on to. And for that movie being made in the 80s, and to have cartoons and humans interact in a movie, not once did I complain about the special effects. Not once. Yeah. Because it's so good. It's a real good movie. But the kids were like, everything was making sense to them. Like, let's go to Back to the Future. My kid, when Doc gets struck by lightning, he's the one that caught on. He went to the Old West because his clock was glitching, and it probably got stuck at an old Western time. And I was like, holy shit, it took for, those videos when it said, how old were you when you found out, certain things? Yeah. That day, I found out that that's the reason why he ended up in the Old West. I just know there was a part 3. Not that, I just knew there was a part 3. Didn't understand why, but there's a part 3. And no, my son is the one. So that was like one of those da-da-da moments like, holy shit, he's right. A 6-year-old told me why he ended up in the Old West. But no, that's funny. TVs, even honestly, even podcasts. For me to do a podcast, I hardly listen to podcasts. I started listening to Shelby because she was a guest, and she has true events, true stories. She's going to give her, her from her point of view, and it's interesting. So I listen to it. I have a buddy of mine that I was on his podcast. He was on my podcast, so I'll listen to his. And sometimes it's already like late Tuesday afternoon. I send him a text. Hey, dude, where's your episode? Oh, I was, whatever reason. I'll post it tomorrow, so I'll listen to his. But there's some podcasts that I like. The reason why I keep them under an hour is because some podcasts are over 3 hours.
Oh, that's too long. No, it's got to be like around an hour, maybe a little longer, because everyone takes like an hour to drive somewhere or to clean the house for an hour, or you know what I mean? Like an hour is a biteable session. And so if you go way over, you're just like, yeah, no.
Yeah, so no, I don't. And honestly, I think when it comes to TV, also TV shows and series, I think I got disappointed with Game of Thrones. And I think ever since then, I really don't. I don't want to get hooked on something else with a disappointing ending. Game of Thrones was so good.
It was.
And they ruined it in the last 4 episodes. How do you go, what is it, 8 years, 11 years on nothing but greatness, and you ruin it in 4 episodes? How is that possible?
I mean, there was so much like back and forth. There's a group that loved it, and there's definitely a group that hated that ending. And as a writer, I'm sure they struggled with like, how are they going to really do this and make the fans happy, but then also be true to the characters? Like, what would really happen to these characters in this life? And it's not always what people want, So it's a trip. For sure. Yeah,
so I'm glad I have a writer on here to explain all this bullshit to me. What the hell? What the hell were those guys thinking when they ruined the show? Go. It's you. Go. No. Honestly, it's just like I said, is how do you go? I was what do you call it? My man crush was Jamie Lannister. Till this day, is Jamie Lannister, and. Freaking my watch, my Fitbit, the little wallpaper was the Lannister logo. You know, I have a Photoshop picture that I used to have on my Facebook and Instagram of my head on Jamie Lannister's body, like, you know, on top of the horse, you know, and Jamie Lannister, like that was even though he was, you know, like you start hating that character, but then little by little you start to love him. It's like he's, you know, it's not his fault. He was, you know, they did a very good job.
Look at Dexter. I mean, it's the same thing. They built a whole show around this empathy you have for Dexter and what he does and why he does it. And he's a murderer. You know what I mean? It's so well done.
Yeah.
You know, and the story, the whole plot around the sister and everything, they're bringing it back. And I'm super excited.
I heard.
Yeah.
I heard. I didn't really watch the entire thing. I remember watching the last episode because my brother, we would get home from work and my brother was always watching it. This is when I lived with him. And, like a couple of episodes caught my attention, but I have more important things to do, you know, and my kids or whatever. So I never really focused. But I watched the last episode, and he wasn't happy. He said that show was they ruined it. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, why am I? I'm not going to get into another show and then just, you know.
You know what? It's really hard to end it, like I said, really well and to make everyone happy. I will tell you, the one show that did such a good job was 6 Feet Under on HBO. I don't know if you're a fan. I'm a huge fan of that show. They did an amazing ending.
6 Feet Under.
So I was happy. Yep. It was one of the first like major HBO shows years ago. Do you know what I mean? Maybe mid 2000s. And Peter Krause is in it and a bunch of other people. And it's about this family that runs a funeral home, and Dexter's in it. I believe it's the same guy, and you know, I forget his name, Michael Thomas Hall or something like that, but he's in it too. And so it's so good, and it's the ending you all want after watching, you know, I think it's like 4 or 5 seasons. Yeah. Somebody
told me to watch Vikings, and somebody told me to watch some other show. I've been trying to watch
an investment.
I've been trying to watch Lucifer for the longest, and I've watched the first episode twice.
Yeah, I know. There's some shows like that.
I started watching it by myself, and my wife's like, well, I'll watch it with you. So I'm okay, we can't watch it when I'm ahead. So we watched the first episode again, and that was it. That's the farthest we got. But that's how it started with Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, we talked about it. The reason how did we get into Game of Thrones was because we were going to my friend's his sister's quinceañera. And my wife was getting ready, so the kids were and myself were already ready to go. I'm like, okay, and that's when like I said, figuring out the Fire Stick, and I'm like, well, I hear a lot about this Game of Thrones, so let's, you know, click it. So I have my 3 kids and myself watching the first episode of Game of Thrones, where it comes to the part where somebody's head gets chopped off, and I'm no, turn it off. I turned it off. We go to the party, and we're talking to my friend's wife, and he was like, and we were talking about Game of Thrones, and she goes, "Oh no, Andres, no. These kids, that's nothing compared to what you're going to see in this show. These kids cannot watch Game of Thrones." I'm like, oh,
the Red Wedding. Oh my god, yeah.
I'm glad I stopped it where I did, because yes, that Red Wedding is horrible. That is,
it's a great story. I mean, the books are amazing. You know what I mean? So, and I heard that, I kind of was thinking like Lord of the Rings was also another just like fantastic series. They're bringing it to TV. Amazon is. So I'm really excited to see what that's going to be like. You know, it's going to be kind of, I think they're trying to rival obviously Game of Thrones with, you know, that whole universe and seeing how they can play that out for seasons. So, we'll see.
As a writer, it definitely makes you happy as hell, because I can see every time you say something about something, your smile just gets bigger and bigger.
Does it?
Yeah, because
I'm really into some of this stuff. Yeah,
because you know that is your goal. Your goal is to, you know, get one of your books or your scripts to be turned into a movie and stuff. So that's, or a TV show. That's pretty cool. I mean, I would have never assumed.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to have like something that has sequels and stuff. The rom-com I wrote does. So like hopefully it goes really big, and then I can do a sequel.
There you go.
Then I can have my trilogy.
There you
my
go.
Trilogy of rom-coms.
There you go. Hey, whatever happened to Carrie? Well, yeah, she sold the script. She doesn't love us anymore. She's gone. She forgot about us old little people, you know?
No, I'm too addicted to TikTok. I would just be on TikTok talking about like what's happening. You know,
Right? You wouldn't even have to go to work anymore. You have all the money. Like, you're good. You know?
Right? Yeah.
Dude, she's been alive for 8 hours. Holy shit.
No, I would totally take you guys backstage, or you know what I mean, or like doing, showing you some of the back stuff that happens. I think that would be really cool to turn my page into that. So I'm just kind of waiting till that, time frame happens.
Well, since I'm the closest, I get first dibs.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just down the street. No, but
you are.
No, but that's pretty cool. I mean, the writing, like, again, the point of this is like, look at how many interesting people you find on TikTok.
Yeah.
If you truly give it a chance, like, like, I talk to random strangers all the time, at work. This is nothing new. I just, like I said, I pop in there and you guys are there. It's like you guys are friends now. You guys are friends now.
Oh, I know. It's family. It's weird. It's cool and weird and fun, and just, and like there's this guy Gator. You've seen him in my life.
I believe so.
He's super, super, super awesome. His name's John. And he goes live every morning on like the dock of his little river, in his backyard. And like, I have to check him out every morning and like say good morning, see everybody. It's really funny. And I feel like there's some TikToks about this, but I feel like TikTok is just more friendly and supportive than any other app out there, just my opinion.
No, I think with TikTok is the fact that you can interact with a lot of more people random everywhere compared to just Facebook. Because on Facebook, you just can't type. I mean, I'm sure you can, but you're not just going to go add a bunch of random people. On TikTok, you want to add random people, Right. On Facebook and Instagram, it's like, I'm not going to, suggested persons, I'm not going to add this guy. I'm not going to add this person. And on TikTok, suggest this person. Yep, add.
Well, and this is why TikTok's kind of become a dating app, right? Like, because it's so unassuming in that way, but you get to know somebody's personality. You see them on a live chat. You see their videos, their comments. Like, it's a whole world that you get into with these people, So it's easy to fall for somebody. It's easy to have a crush.
Didn't Brian just have somebody do a video live with him talking about someone she met on TikTok? She went on a date with the guy?
Know. Oh, well, there's been some bad stories.
Okay,
recently.
well, but the point of your story is that people have used TikTok as a dating app.
Absolutely.
So that was the point of that. What about you?
Yeah. I did not download it for that reason, but it is like I have a crush for sure. And I talked to him.
I'm married. I
had a crush like a month out.
I'm married.
Hi, Andy. I mean, there's this guy that I went into his live, and at first I was like, he's just really, really funny. He's cool. He's down to earth. He's in California. I'm like, wow. And then I went into his live again, and, and just slowly have become friends with like his whole community, his whole group. And then, I had a massive crush on him. Like, you know what I mean? And I told him, like, oh my God. No, I did. I was like, wow. I'm into this,
okay.
Anyway.
Episode 66 will be Carrie's crush. How can I get a hold of this guy?
I know, really. But he comes into my lives. We go and we just dueled the other night. You were in there. We were just dueling.
Okay. That guy saying about what was saying? What was he yelling? Martin, that guy. I'm like, he's just copying Gabriel Iglesias. That's all he's doing. Okay.
Yeah. So it's fun. I mean, and but I wasn't expecting that. I was super not expecting that, and I think there's definitely other crushes we're all making fun of, on there all the time in the lives. Like, Brian has one too.
Yeah. Brian and Arizona Kelly are already engaged. You see that?
I know. Well, they're TikTok engaged, which is a thing,
right? Oh,
TikTok.
God.
I'm not TikTok engaged yet. I'm not there yet, but that is really funny. And, and who knows what can happen. I see all these TikToks of people finally meeting and getting married off of TikTok.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So if you were single, Andy,
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's crazy. Like I said.
Yeah, because, no one wants to be on like Match.com anymore, Sorry, Match.
Oops. I will get sued for that one. Let me see, take that part out. No, I'm playing. We didn't bash the app. We're good. No, we didn't bash them. If we bash them, then we get sued. So.
No, yeah, but
No, that's cool. That's good. I mean, like I said, I like TikTok takes me back to when I was a teenager and I would get home from school when I went to school and log on, turn on the Wi-Fi, turn on the internet, and boom, and then you're in a live chat. You're on Yahoo chats and stuff like that, and you just remember back in the day, it was the CA, your age, or like the state, your age, and then some. What was those three initials? What was the three initials? Age, location, and sex. So it'd be, my age, California, and then male. Like those little back and forth little chats and stuff like that. And like I said, TikTok takes me back to that because it reminds me of somewhat of a childhood that I had. And I always loved.
I use like Yahoo Messenger, and that reminds me. Like I'd get Messenger. Man, that was like 2002 or something like that.
Yep. That was the thing to do back then. And now it's like, I mean, like I said, I think I said it before. I met a friend on a walkie-talkie once, on a freaking walkie-talkie. I had it on, actually a couple friends. And one of them, he actually was a like veteran, and he had like the cooler technology walkie-talkies, and he somehow found me on there. We were talking back and forth, and I ended up getting to meeting him in person, him and his wife and his kid. Yeah. Wow. I haven't heard from him in years, and that was over a walkie-talkie. So this is like the TikTok thing kind of reminds me of when I was a kid. So it gives me flashbacks. Makes me want to go find this guy, see how he's doing. But yeah,
and I like being talented people. Like there was this girl I watched last night, and she sings with her mom, and she's so good. Yeah, and her mom is so good. And I'm like, I'm gonna duet it later, and I'm like, oh, she should get signed in a second. You know what I mean?
My wife found this. My wife found this lady. I think her name is Jax. I think she's Jax. And there's this one song that she likes. It's called Lollipop. And she found it on YouTube. My wife's like, can you find a way to get this song on my phone? She loves that song. And then my kid comes up to me. He's like, Dad, can you find, and he gave me the title of the song. And I'm like, okay, cool. I Google it. I find it. Before I put it on this phone, I'm going to listen to the song because it needs to be appropriate, right? Yeah. And I'm listening to the song, and it's like, oh, it's from TikTok. I'm like rocking to it. And then my other kid, like, it's just, they do have some talented people on there, but the people that go and just mimic other videos, that's not talent.
Yeah, that's not talent. It's not.
You're just trying to be funny, and don't get me wrong, some of them are funny, just the way they do it. Like the girls that do. They do the big old head, and they're mimicking that one. What's his name? That kid that does that comedian that talks about, like, the kid. It's like, did you wet the bed? No, I didn't wet the bed. It was my teacher. My teacher came and wet the bed. Like stuff like that. Like those are funny. Different reactions are funny, but like, I mean, some of these they don't have talent. Some of these people don't have talent.
Yeah.
Fast forward.
It's definitely. I mean, I really like the fun, family-oriented stuff on there, too. Or just people, like there's a girl that I follow who's in Alaska, living alone in Alaska, and like how she lives her life and everything. And she's like 27 or something and just wanted to live off the grid. And you know what I mean? Those people are fascinating.
Put it this way. I got a cat because of
Really?
I got a cat.
Were you on cat TikTok?
No. There's this one video. There's this one dude that he has 3 cats, And one day his wife comes in and she's like, hey, there's no room for me on the bed. And she's like, yeah, we don't want you, it's a sleepover. And all 3 cats and him are dressed alike. Like they're all matching.
Yeah.
So
I think I know who you're talking about. Their account's really good.
And he'll take his cats for a ride, and he pretty much neglects his wife over the cats. Like his cats come first. So I went and got a cat.
Yes.
I went and got a cat.
What's amazing about their 3 cats is that they allow them to do that.
The cats go along with it. It's a trip.
My cats would not. There's no freaking way that they would allow me to dress them and put them in bed with me like that. Like there's, I wouldn't have eyes.
And they hiss at her. They hiss at her. Like they,
I know.
It's awesome.
It's funny. I know. Well, and I don't think he was even a cat person. It's like he met her with cats, and then he's like, now that's what's so funny about it. Now he's like, that's all he cares about are the cats.
Oh, the cats. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, his videos are funny. There's this one video where there's one couple that just had a kid, and she's always yelling at her husband. She's yelling at him. I mean, I get they're trying to be funny, but it's like, one time I'm like, dude, if my wife spoke to me like that, I freaking leave her, And a couple of days later, they recorded it and posted a blooper one. I don't know if they did it because I said something, but they posted a blooper one. I'm like, oh, okay, they're just having a good time. They're messing around. Okay, now I'll laugh at them. But at first, I was like, I wouldn't let my wife talk to me the way she's talking to him, or like she's condescending and like she's, like calling him stupid and like. But I felt bad for the guy. But no, they're obviously.
They're just playing around.
They're playing around. They're goofing off. They posted a blooper one, which is okay. All right, cool. I won't call the cops on him. On her.
It's interesting because as you get bigger on there and you get more friends and stuff like that, you're going to see more trolls, and more people being mean. And, and I'm not sure I want to log into TikTok and see just a bunch of mean. So you can filter them, which is great. So you can filter like really bad words or, people talking crap about you or whatever. So I don't to see everything, but, so I'm like, I don't really know. I was like, I want to hit 10,000 friends just because, to hit that milestone. But beyond that is like, I'm not sure, I'm not sure what I'm doing, like what my purpose is on TikTok.
I see everyone trying and get more and more friends. I've said it multiple times. I just want to promote my podcast. I'll take however many friends I can get. And again, out of 1,400 people that I have on TikTok, I talk to what? 5, 6?
Yeah, I know. That's very
the regulars, the regulars.
Yeah, we have our regular crew, and I think there's like 12 to 15 of us. And then there's another group that I've brought in, right? Of like another 10. So I was saying that there's a good 20 or 30 people that are always like flipping around at people's lives.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like I have almost 40, I don't know, it's like 4,000 something friends. But yeah, I don't talk to like, there's no way. There's only like maybe a handful of people I go in their lives, like they're kind of my people I'll check out. But I still like looking at, I still want a full feed of all these other people to look at, constantly.
No, yeah, I get it. No, yeah, it's like I said, it's you got your regulars, and I support. They if you guys appeared on my podcast, I'll watch your lives. If you guys, I'll watch your videos. You will, whatever, to show that I'm being supportive to your guys' videos. I mean, they can make me laugh. They can not make me laugh. They can piss me off. But I'll hit the like, share, and comment button for sure.
Yeah, you always do. Yep. You always come in and say hi, even if it's just for a minute. And then I do see you commenting sometimes on videos. And, so yeah, you definitely show love. I think that's what we all try and do. Yeah. To support each other is like, you put up a video. It may not be funny to me, but who cares?
I like it. Like my son was on my account the other day. Last story then. My son was on my account the other day and he was scrolling through and I'm like, hey, go back. And he was like, why? It wasn't even funny. See where it says friends? Yeah. That means they're following me and I'm following them. So just like it. I don't care if you only watch it for 2 seconds. Go ahead and like it. So as he's scrolling, it could be, I'm gonna just like it. It says friends, like it. Okay, Dad. So but he has I had to cut him off for a second. But anyways, Carrie, thank you for waking up early. and getting ready you were ready before I was. So I appreciate that. Not a lot of my guests ever are ready before me. And I wasn't ready. My machine wasn't plugged in. My mic, dude, I was about to start hitting record. My microphone wasn't even plugged in yet. So thank you for coming on the podcast. Thank you for sharing your writing story. I thought it was a trip that I tripped out that, that's what you do for a living. You don't meet a lot of writers,
Yeah.
I just know that we hated them all at one point because they screwed Smallville. Smallville went to shits, and we hated them for a while. But no, you keep doing what you're doing. I'm sure one day we'll end up watching your script on a big screen. Yeah. And, like I end every podcast, Carrie, thank you for running with me.
Thank you, Andy. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Indie Podcast. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean.